Well, hello. I've just made myself a large batch of homemade chocolate and cranberry biscotti. Now, I'll tell you, it's really actually quite easy. It seems like it'd be a lot more work to make a biscotti, but it's mix the wet ingredients together, mix the dry ingredients together, mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, takes a little bit of elbow grease to mix them together, and then what you end up with is nice, hard biscotti. Dunk them in your coffee, and oh yeah, you get that kind of the sweetness of the dark chocolate playing against the tartness of the cranberries, and then with the coffee and all, good in tea too. Actually, even if you don't dunk them, they make great hockey pucks. Let's go in the kitchen and make some right now. Now, to make our biscotti, it's rather a simple procedure. We have a bunch of dry ingredients, they go together, wet ingredients go together, one mixed into the other, make the loaves. It's really much easier than making any kind of bread. All right, first things, for our dry ingredients, what we have here is 3 cups of flour, a half a cup of sugar. I'm using my favorite cane sugar, but any sugar, white sugar will do. 4 ounces or 110 grams of dried cranberries, 4 ounces or 110 grams of broken up dark chocolate. I break up in small pieces about the size as the cranberries. And then here we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Over here for the wet ingredients, 3 eggs, a tablespoon of olive oil, a teaspoon of vanilla essence, and a half a teaspoon of almond essence, which gives it kind of a kick. So first thing, let's mix all the dry ingredients into one bowl. In goes the flour, in goes the chocolate, in goes the cranberries, the sugar, the salt, and the baking powder. Take a whisk and just mix those around. Just kind of get it evenly distributed. Just kind of see as I'm just turning a bit, just to make sure that the baking powder is distributed throughout. All right, that's ready to go. Now I'm just going to use the same bowl that I did the flour came in, because hey, why make extra dishes? Let's break those eggs in there. 1, 2, and 3. And then first, just got to break the eggs up with the whisk. And once those are nicely beaten, in goes the olive oil. In goes the almond essence, the vanilla. Put those off to one side and just mix this together. Look at that. Smelling good. I love the smell of vanilla. All right, and now I'm going to take my wooden spoon and I'm just going to mix the wet ingredients. Just kind of always create a bit of a well. In go the wet ingredients. This is going to be a really dry mix, so a little stiff arming will be required. All right, let's start bringing that around. Right now, just getting it mixed up, and then slowly going to start cutting through it to mix it up together more. The more you cut it, the more, whoa, there we go. We need a higher sided bowl. The more you cut it, the more it's all going to come together. So this is probably the most labor intensive part right here. See what I'm doing here? The last little bit, there's still some dry at the bottom, so I'm turning it over, get that mixed in. I just want to make sure we have all that dry mixed into all the wet. And it's going to be really stiff at this point. All right, that's looking pretty good. So now, a little bit extra on the counter, put that in there. All right, what I've got here is a little bit extra flour just to flour down the counter with. And I'm gonna squish this together. Start start collecting it together, forming it into a shape. There we go. Just squeezing it together. This is a very dense, you know, anytime you have biscotti, it's really dense. You squeeze it together. And now I'm going to just kind of shape it into a bit of a loaf. Just going to set that aside for a minute because I think we might need to add a bit more of that. This one looks like it might be bigger. They don't have to be totally even or anything. All right. Pour that into there. Yeah, just studded with cranberries and chocolate. Now I just kind of lengthen it out. So I can put it on here, roll it until I get it into a bit of a bigger shape. You're gonna waste some of this. Eat it. The piece of chocolate are gonna fall out. Nah, it's okay. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to flatten this down, keep forming it together and flatten it down until it's about an inch or 2.5 centimeters in thickness. All right. Now, what I have over here is a baking sheet, and I've rubbed it with butter, put a little flour on it, and you just kind of shake it around until it all gets coated. Now, these guys are going to go on here. And that oven has been preheating 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. These are going to go in there now for 35 minutes. So let's check back in 35 minutes. All right, those have been in the oven for 35 minutes. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove them from here. I'll just put it on the right side. We're going to remove them from here and put them on the cooling rack. So that goes on the cooling rack there. And same, ooh, that is hot. Same with that one. We're going to cool these for 10 minutes. In the meantime, we bring the oven down to about 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit cooler because these are going to go back in again after we slice them. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, those biscotti loaves have been cooling for 10 minutes. The oven is coming down to 325 or 160 degrees Celsius. Now what we do is we want to cut these. This end part's always a little difficult, but we want to cut these into about 1/2 inch for, like I said, 12 millimeter thick slices. Now all we're going to do is place them on the tray because they're going to go back in the oven to dry out some more. All right, with my little tray, we're not going to fit all the sliced loaves on there. Usually with a bigger North American tray, yeah, you'll get them both on there. I have to do them in batches. So those are going to go in the oven. Remember, that's at 325 or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to go in for 10 minutes, bring them out, and then we're going to flip them in another 10 minutes. So I'll see you in 10. Well, that's been 10 minutes on one side, and you can really see it's starting to dry out the surface a little bit. So what we're going to do now is going to flip them, and back in the oven they will go to dry the other side. All right, those are going back in the oven for another 10 minutes and then we're done. All right, those have been another 10 minutes in the oven on the other side, and now they are ready. Now, sometimes you'll find, let's see if these are this time. No, they're already hardening up in the center. Sometimes they'll be a little soft in the center on some of them, not these, but that always hardens up as they cool. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna put these onto a cooling rack, let them cool right down. You can keep them in like a cookie tin or something like that, or you've seen sometimes you go to some of the cafes and having a big jar or something like that. Anything, dunk these in coffee, enjoy. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe for chocolate and cranberry biscotti on our website. So go print out the recipe, have fun making and eating these little treats, and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.